You've heard it 1,000 times. Love is the answer. Choose love. Love conquers all. And every single time you hear something like this, you roll your eyes. You ask yourself, really? Is that even possible? Because when you're drowning in bills, when you're stuck with a toxic job, when your body is breaking down, love sounds like a greeting card. But what if I told you that these people who have been saying that love is the answer aren't being naive? Nor are they lying to you or manipulating you or blabbering something out random. They are describing a location, a floor on the elevator of consciousness. And you, right now in this situation, are stuck in the basement. If you feel trapped by your circumstances, like you cannot see your way out, if hope feels like a lie people tell to make themselves feel better, if you keep trying to change your life, but somehow you keep ending up in the same space, this video will show you why that happens. Today, I'm going to reveal to you the vibrational elevator that you're riding on, whether you know it or not. And also, which floor have you been living on your entire life? Imagine yourself in a building, a tall building with many floors on it, and you are stuck in the basement. There are no windows, just concrete walls, dim fluorescent lights that are flickering. And someone on the top floor calls down to you. The view up here is incredible. You can see the ocean, you can see the mountains, the entire city spread out before you. You can view that. And you think to yourself, that's nice for them, but I'm down here and all I see is walls. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't happen. And this is where most people live, not physically, vibrationally. Dr. David Hawkins spent his entire life mapping consciousness. He created something called as the Map of Consciousness, a scale from 1 to 1,000. And he found that every emotion, every state of being has a frequency. Shame vibrates at 20, fear at 100, anger at 150, courage at 200, love at 500. Now these aren't just feelings. They are locations on the elevator of your consciousness. And here's what changes everything. From each floor, you can only see what that floor allows you to see. When you're vibrating at shame, you can't even imagine solutions. You see yourself as fundamentally broken, worthless, beyond help. When you're vibrating at fear, you see danger everywhere. Every opportunity looks like a threat. When you're vibrating at anger, you see enemies everywhere. Everyone's against you, nothing is fair, and the world owes you something. But when you're vibrating at love, at gratitude, at 500 and above, you see possibilities. You see connections. You see paths that were invisible from down below. Same world, just a different floor. And here's why this should matter to you right now. You're trying to solve your life problems from the basement. You're trying to find hope while vibrating at despair. You're trying to create abundance while vibrating at lack. And you know, and I know, it's not working. Not because you're doing it wrong, but because the solution doesn't exist on the floor you are standing on. Logically, you know that you have to rise to be able to see the solutions. Einstein once said, you cannot solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it. And this is probably what he meant. This is not just some philosophy, this is navigation. You are standing on the wrong floor. And until you move, you'll keep seeing the same dark, dim walls. Let's map this out clearly. The lowest floors are the survival emotions: shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear. When you are down here, you are in pure reaction mode. Your nervous system is screaming, danger, survive somehow, protect yourself, hide somewhere. There is no creativity here. There is no possibility. There is no future up here. Just moment to moment, trying not to die. This is where trauma lives. This is where your poverty consciousness breeds. And you think, I can't make money? This is where you make decisions that keep you stuck because anything else feels like falling. The middle floors are the power emotions: anger, pride, courage. These feel better than basement, of course, and they are better. At least you have energy now. At least you are moving somehow. But these floors are also limited. Anger sees enemies everywhere. Pride sees that there is a need to be better than everyone else to be able to feel okay. Courage is good. Courage is always good, but it is efforting. It's still pushing. It is still struggling, hustling. You're climbing, but you're exhausted. And then comes a point where there is a shift. Around 200, something changes. You move into acceptance, into reason, into love, and suddenly the view opens up. You're not just reacting anymore. You're not just surviving. Here, you're creating. At the floor of love, at around 500, you see everything is connected. You see that what happens to you is happening for you. You see opportunities where before you only saw obstacles. And at the top floor, the gratitude, peace, enlightenment, you see that there was never anything to solve. Just everything exactly as it should be. Bhagavad Gita describes this as Kshit Prajna, the steady wisdom, not moved by pleasure or pain, not shaken up by circumstances, established firmly in the highest floor. But here's the problem. Most people spend their entire lives in the basement without knowing about this. Not because they were broken, but because basement seemed familiar. So why can't you just press the button and go up, take the elevator? Because of the weight. The weight of the past. Every unprocessed trauma, every resentment, every story about how life screwed you over, it's a weight. And that weight keeps pulling you down. You try to feel grateful, but anger pulls you back. You try to feel love, but fear pulls you back. You try to rise, but the familiar pulls you down. Because here's the truth that is a little twisted. Your nervous system prefers the known hell over the unknown heaven. Even if the known hell is miserable, at least it is predictable. That's how your mind thinks. Gabermate talks about this, how trauma creates a comfortable zone of discomfort. You're so used to suffering that peace somehow feels wrong. You're so used to struggle that ease feels like it's a trap. So even when the elevator door opens up, even when you have the chance to rise, to see things differently, you still stay. You say, I can't afford to be grateful. I have real problems. You say, love doesn't pay the bills, so I can't afford to be in love with everything. You say, hope is for people who do not understand how hard life is. And with every statement that you give, you're choosing the basement. It is a choice, not consciously, but energetically. Let me show you how this works. You wake up and immediately you start thinking about what is wrong with your life, your current life. the bills, the pain, the person who had hurt you yesterday or maybe 10 years back. That is low vibrational thinking. You're starting your day on the basement floor. And from there, you start looking for evidences. Evidence that life is hard, is cruel, people are cruel, and that you're stuck with your situations, your circumstances. And of course, you'll find it. Our brain is designed to find that ways. Not because it is the only truth, but because that is what is visible from the floor that you are standing on. And then you say to yourself, see, I knew life is miserable, life was terrible, I told you. And then you sink even deeper. That's the trap. You can't see the exit because of where you are standing. And you won't move because you can't see the exit. It's a loop, vicious circle, catch 22, whatever you want to call it. The only way out is faith. So how do you actually move? How do you rise when everything in you wants to stay in the known? Here's the process. Step number 1, acknowledge where you are. You can't move if you're pretending that you're already up. Stop pretending. If you're in fear, say it. If you're in anger, own it. If you are in despair, admit it. There is no shame in this. It is pure truth. I'm on the fear floor right now, and that is where you press the first button. Step number 2 is feel the weight. What's keeping you up here? What past are you carrying with yourself? What story are you continuously replaying? Write it down. Not to wallow it, but to see it. Because once you see the weight, you can choose, you can decide. Do I still want to carry this along, or do I want to let it go? Step number 3, choose one floor up. You don't have to jump from shame to love, from guilt to gratefulness. That is too far, too fast. Just go one floor up. From apathy to grief, from grief to fear, from fear to anger. Yes, even anger is higher than fear. At least anger has energy. From anger to courage, from courage to acceptance. One floor at a time. But how do we do this? We do this by asking, what would it feel like one level higher than this? If you're in fear, courage would be asking, what if I'm actually safe? If you're in anger, acceptance is asking, what if nobody's against me? If you are in pride, love would be asking, what if I don't need to be better than anyone else to feel okay? And step number 4 is practice the higher emotion. And this is where most people fail. They think about gratitude, but they don't feel it. You have to generate that feeling. Close your eyes. Think of that one thing, just one thing that you are truly, genuinely grateful for. And I'm not talking about big things, just small things. Sun this morning, breath in your lungs, the fact that your heart is still beating despite the up and downs of your life. Feel it. Let that feeling fill your chest. And that is where you are pressing the second button. That is where you are rising. And step number 5, sustain this new floor. You can't just be visiting. You have to be living up here. And every time you catch yourself sinking back into complaints, into fear, you pause and you ask, what floor am I on? And then, what is that one floor higher up than this? And you choose it again and again and again until this new floor becomes your new baseline. This is not just some sort of positive thinking. This is like a vibrational discipline that you need to follow. Now imagine this. You wake up And before your mind starts to go into its usual spiral, you press the button into gratitude. You don't think about what you are grateful for, you need to feel it. Just feel it. And from that floor, you look at your current life. The same bills, the same challenges, the same struggles, the same circumstances, but this time they will look different. Not smaller, just workable. You'll be able to see solutions that you could not see before. You'll be able to see help that you were almost blind to. You will see possibilities that were invisible from the basement earlier on. Same life, same situations, just different floor. And what becomes possible from up here? Everything that you've been chasing stops running away from you, because you're no longer vibrating at lack. You're vibrating at abundance. And abundance attracts more abundance. People you need will suddenly begin to appear. Opportunities you could not even have imagined now open up. Not because you manifested them through force and forceful thinking, but because you're finally receptive. You're finally on the floor where they do exist. Rumi said something that really breaks me open every time I listen to it. Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. And that pull, it is the elevator calling you up. But you have to let go of the railing. You have to let go of that grip. You have to release the familiar weight. You have to take the leap of faith that says, I don't know what's up there, but I'm willing to find out. That is the leap, not into nothing, but into the unknown. And the unknown is where all possibilities live. And here's what I want you to understand. Love isn't the answer because it is magical. Love is the answer because it is a location. The highest floor where you can finally see everything. But here's the question. What if there is a floor above this top? What if there is something beyond love, beyond gratitude, beyond peace? There's something else. A state where you're not even on the elevator anymore, where you're not moving up and down. That movement ceases, where you simply are. What is that in that space where the elevator stops? I will let you mull over this thought. But until you get there, I want to remind you that every answer that you've been looking for is right inside you. And if you could look, you'll find those answers. You are the answer, and in fact, that's what my book, Becoming the Answer, is all about. You will find many answers to your queries in this book. It speaks on how you are the universe yourself inside you, and it speaks from the perspectives of science, spirituality, chakra system, epigenetics, neuroscience, NLP, quantum physics, metaphysics, energy psychology, philosophy, and many ancient spiritual traditions and wisdom. It's available on Amazon and Goodreads, and you'll find the link in the description below. You might have somebody whom you love and care for. And the best gift that you can give someone, to your loved ones, is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of how life is working. Through this video, now you know something that most people don't. And you must share it. Share this knowledge with them. Share this video for them to know that you love and care for them. And if you like these kind of talks, if you like these kind of videos, I would urge you to subscribe to our channel, Mind Healing with Bhavish. This is Bhavish Ahuja, a transformational coach and a therapist. Until the next video, I want you to stay blessed, stay healthy, and catch hold of this wisdom if you can. But for today, thank you so much for tuning in. I shall see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.